Well, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has declared that he will not contest for the presidential position in the 2027 election. Instead, he has thrown his weight again behind President Bola Tinubu, predicting that the president will win the election. Wike made this known during a media chat in Abuja. The FCT minister was reacting to former Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai, who had, during an interview over the weekend, said President Tinubu has no clear path to re-election, as the best he could achieve is a third-place finish. El-Rufai said there may be 2 rounds of the election, adding that there is a possibility that no candidate will secure the required majority in the first round. But responding to El-Rufai's remarks, Wike says the former Kaduna State Governor goofed by predicting that Tinubu would come third without naming who would come first or second. He also notes that he failed in his mathematics.
Elections, which is I will not run. If Tinubu does not win this election squarely, I'll put a bet. You see, I watched him, he said they should go and ask Jonathan. No 2 persons are the same. No 2 persons are the same. The mere fact you were able to survive that, succeed in that, does not mean you can do that. We are also here too. So as I'm sitting down here, do I look at somebody that you come and win River State? It's not possible.
Right, joining us now to unpack the political discourse in Nigeria and Rivers State local government polls is Dr. Ibrahim Modibbo. He's a political affairs analyst. He'll also be joined by Oladimeji Fabiyi, former director, PDP presidential campaign. There he is. All right, thank you very much for joining us. Let me start with you, Dr. Modibbo. Let's talk about the aftermath of this local government elections that some like to describe as controversial. Is it as controversial as it seems? APC 20, PDP 3. Of course, when you consider the fact that the suspended governor, Fubara, is a PDP governor. I mean, let's just talk about the aftermath and, you know, your observations so far with what you've seen and the outcome of that election.
Well, coming from viewpoint of a political analyst within the context of Nigeria, I'm not surprised that things like this are likely to crop up. But you see, what surprised me most is the hurry in which the government has been able to come up with these elections when the properly elected governor of the state, who has been elected by the people, majority votes of the people, is barely coming in the next 1 week or 2, coming back, based on what Wike has stated. With people like Wike, Nigeria's democracy is in danger. For very obvious reasons, I want to believe that with his, especially the interview he had today, which I monitored critically, I could see the loquacious, boisterous, and disdainful remarks, which looks like a circus show, or better still, playing to the gallery, with a view to impressing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to say that, look, this is a person that is my defender. He is a person that could lay his life on line because of me. To me, I see Wike as somebody that is in Hausa what they call Angulu Maikanzabwa. That is a guinea fowl with the head of a vulture.
Very strong.
Very strong. You see, you cannot be at the center, pandering to the whims and caprices of 2 parties at the same time. If you want to be PDP, go back to PDP in a hall. If you want to be APC, go back to APC. Under this nascent democracy, we've seen states where 100% elections at the local government were won throughout with all the councillors and everything. But speaking from both sides of them and playing to the gallery, speaking you know, with half-hearted wisdom, we saw Wike saying that he wants, there are some small local governments that he has created for himself and that they won under PDP, and also others where he pushed his loyalists to go to APC in those local governments to contest. So local government as it is today under the democratic structure which has not been conducted is a democracy under which has captured Rivers. And therefore, to me, it is a very sad commentary in the history of this country. Let us conceptualize. Let us look at it from a viewpoint of democracy. Democracy presupposes a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. The mere fact that there are lacunas in terms of information dissemination as to when the election is supposed to hold is supposed to be about 90 days. Why the hurry? And the fact that under this democracy, we've seen Wike and his group, when Fabura elected the local government election earlier, they went to court because 90 days were not given. Are we operating on different levels of constitution? One thing that I want to learn, or one thing that I've learned is, from Senator Sauri, who was a former secretary of PDP when Wike was there, dominating the political space. He said, look, Wike has never lost any electoral process in the courts. So, from all indications, Wike knows what he's doing. Okay. If not, I want to believe that if this is Senate democracy, where the will of the people will prevail, the dictates of democracy should be by the ballot of the box, I think it is a great traversary of justice. Okay. Looking at it from every parameter of democratic practice, this is a foul play. And I think this is very unfortunate.
Okay, interesting, Dr. Modibbo, because the minister today said the victory can be attributed to the love of the people for him still in the state. But let me bring in somebody who is a member of the PDP and former director of the PDP presidential campaign, Mr. Fabiyi. Mr. Fabiyi, thank you so much for coming on the news tonight. Rivers is considered great. Rivers could be considered one of the strongest hold of the People's Democratic Party since the return of democracy in 1999. For the first time, we are seeing ground shifts. Only 3 councilorships, only 3 local government chairmen. How damaging is this for your party? And what decisions are you taking, if any, since the aftermath of this election?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. First, I'd like to say that I am not in alignment with everything that happens in Rivers State. Yes, a PDP member, but taking it from where you said, it's not damaging. What happened in Rivers? You know all these our entertainers, and when there's something they call script. It was a script. And then in PDP of today, we have 2 classes of people. We have the class, and one class there is divided into 2. And I'll tell you, there is a class of those who know what they are doing, and there's a class of those who don't know what they are doing. Those who know what they are doing are divided into 2. One of them is Wike. Wike knows what he's doing. And the second class, the other part of it are the Atiku Abubakars of this world, who equally knows what they are doing. The other part are those who don't know what they're doing. In no distant time, I'm sure they will choose where they want to belong. Having said that, I agree completely with the analysis of Dr. Modibbo. We have to be serious in this country. Now, democracy is under serious threat. Everything in Rivers in the last 6 months has been illegal, and we voiced it, we said it, that this is illegal. It's just like when you tell a lies, you need more lies to cover that lies. That's exactly what's happening in Rivers. The illegality from the appointment of the sole administrator to what happened yesterday were completely illegitimate and full of illegality. My pain here is that, when a nation is failing, when the executive is becoming rascal, or their rascality is becoming too unbearable, when social disorder, when economic disorder, when political disorder is becoming rife, it is the judiciary that comes to the rescue. But unfortunately, judiciary is aiding the killing, the death of our democracy in this country. Now, this Rivers matter, I'm sure, is the Supreme Court. Why are Supreme Court not agitated on that matter till today? Let us ask them what they are doing. We are all Nigerians. We see what is happening. Everything that happens in Rivers, that election, was like a movie and is an aberration. I don't support it. And for Minister of FCT, that is the champion of all of this, there's something called posterity. We will see where all of this will lead in the next. Let me tell you, what you saw play out in this local government election is the template for 2027. Anybody who's going to run for governor should better be prepared, because the template is already there. These numbers, whether there was apathy, there was anything, that is the template for 2027. And then, unfortunately, quite unfortunately, we have a Mr. President who touted himself as a Democrat. This is not democracy. I align myself with the position of Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president. I align myself with the position of Mr. Peter Obi, because these are Democrats. And all these guys cannot be wrong. We've been there before. We've seen local government elections being conducted in this country. So it's not damaging to PDP. It's a deliberate act supported by the APC leadership.
Right. Let me bring in Dr. Modibbo back here in the studio. I mean, if this is not democracy, how do we define it then? And I'd like you to also respond to Atiku's call for nullification of this local government election. I mean, what are the implications of all of this? If it's nullified, what happens then?
You see, for some time now, the nation has been buckled under the full weight of ravenous and greedy political class, whose main aim is self-serving agenda. You'll agree with me that, to me, what I see in some of these elections, especially that of Rivers, is nothing short of a lavish display of political rascality, where somebody is sitting on the fence claiming to be in this party, yet he's also pandering to the whims and caprices of the other party in trying to secure favor. It's unfortunate. It is very sad. Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who is one of the major players in the political history of this country, has really hit the nail on the head. It is a fact that as far as PDP is concerned, there hasn't been any, I mean, as far as any right-thinking Nigerian democratic elite is concerned, there is no free, fair, and credible election in Rivers, for very obvious reasons. If you look at it from the trajectory of the political class, based on, you know, the computations and permutations of people of knowledge and character within the political class, you will agree with me, what has really changed? Has any governor come under the APC in Rivers to suggest that there were a lot of campaigns, or he has done anything to warrant the major shift from the PDP to the APC? So it is all a kind of round-robin political structure based on one single individual's self-serving agenda. Because as far as I'm concerned, what has happened in Rivers as it is today, it is nothing less than, as Mr. Fabiyi has rightly stated, that it is a projection of what is likely to happen in 2027. Yeah. And it's going to be very unfortunate. Nigeria, we need democracy. Democracy is it. We need democracy for the survival of this country, because the worst form of democracy is better than the best form of military dictatorship. Okay. And therefore, we don't want jackboot democracy where people go use the might, the power of influence, the power of money, the power of what, to hijack the political process for self-serving agenda.
Now that this election has held, what next?
Well,
you might say the damage has been done. Yes. How do you manage this situation?
Madam Ngozi, if you look at it, the election has been held, results have been announced, and even to this evening, I've seen that they've been sworn in. Therefore, the only thing left for the political class is to organize themselves and go to court. Okay. Just like Wike did during the Fabura period. Fubara. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's okay.
So they went to court. They should challenge this in court, although they know the outcome. Like Fabiyi had rightly stated, this issue of this anti-democratic posture where a government that has been legitimately elected has been brought down, and a microscopic dictator has been put in place to be a governor, only for him to come and conduct democratic election. Under which platform? He's a military man. He doesn't know anything about democracy. Okay. How can he preside over free, fair, and credible election when he doesn't even have the license of the people?
All right, Dr. Modibbo, I mean, those are concerns that have been raised even before this elections. But Mr. Fabiyi, let me bring you back in, because when you spoke earlier, you mentioned Atiku Abubakar, who we know defected from your party to the ADC You also mentioned Peter Obi, who we also know is currently a member of the Labour Party. So when I ask you, as a member of the PDP, what actions you have taken, I'm a bit surprised that you're mentioning opposition figures who have spoken. Who is speaking for the PDP? Because we heard from Minister Wike, who insists he's still in the PDP and says this victory can be attributed to him and the love of the people for him. So what is the PDP doing? You also bring in fear or concerns of how this is a template for 2027. But the question then is, what is your political party doing? Because you are a player, you are responsible for what happens in 2027 as well.
Well, thank you very much. The fact that your father is misbehaving as a true son, as a true child, you must be able to find a way to tell your father, sir, what you are doing is wrong. What my party is doing is wrong. This is not democracy. There's something called institutional memories. Most of these guys that are now active player in PDP, lack these institutional memories. Where were they? Let me give you an instance. Where was Minister Wike 2002, 2003, 2007? I'm told he was just a local government chairman. And today he's calling the shot. The only link local government chairman had to the national then was just national convention. They don't even know what political parties are run. Let me give you another instance. Governor Bola Mohammed was in APP. Sheyi Makinde was even nowhere to be found. And these are the guys that are calling the shot in PDP today. And that's why PDP is missing the point. And this guy felt because they have been blessed, they are now governors, they have resources. That is why they have brought the party to where it is. I'm speaking for the party, for the good ones in the party. Not the bad ones, not those ones who believe they can be in opposition and be killing their own party. The party that gave them everything, that gave them the influence they have today, everything they have become today. So for me, I'm speaking for those people. I'm speaking for millions and millions of PDP members who are not happy with what, because this is not our party. This is not the party of Solomon La, of Alex Wekweme, of blessed memory. This is not the party of Atiku Abubakar. This is not the party of Sule Lamido. This is not the party of most of these leaders. You know, in those days, we have governors forum, we have governors, we have leaders. When somebody comes on air and tells me that PDP has internal mechanism to resolve this crisis, I laugh. It was in those days, not now. The mechanism, because those who were taking care of the crisis then were genuine. They were for the people. Unlike contrary to what we have now, that we have individuals who are only self-serving, who just think about themselves, who can work against their party because they think they have the resources. They hide under the president to create crisis for the party. Right. We are not happy about that, and we should be able to tell them the truth. And that's exactly what I am doing. I am not in alignment with what Wike is doing to this party and his gangs, and I know that if PDP were to survive, which I doubt in 2027, which I very much doubt in 2027. So for me to speak about Atiku Abubakar, to speak about Peter Obi, is because they are speaking the truth to the power. Because this is it. They were there, they formed this party, they made the party what it is today. Someone like Atiku Abubakar, you can't rubbish him. Right. So if the man of his standing now said, party, let us do it this way, and some people pick offenses there, and they began to work against the party. It is quite unfortunate. Posterity again will judge all of them. Right. Because Nigerians are suffering because of this problem that PDP is having. There is no hope inside. I hope the members of the coalition that have gone into opposition will be able to sit tight, put their house in order, and provide quality leadership, quality alternative opposition for Nigerians. Because PDP is not playing. The day PDP zone its presidency to the south, that day they have already abdicated their responsibility as the opposition to the ADC. Well, so ADC must provide them as an alternative. I thank those who have the courage, who are not like the others that are running to APC. I thank them for doing what they have done. Right.
Well, it does seem like for the PDP, it's a case of damned if you do, damned if you don't on the issue of, moving it to the south in terms of the presidency for 2027. Very quickly, Wike's declaration not to contest in 2027, but support Tinubu. Dr. Modibbo, is party politics being redefined in Nigeria, where a politician can belong to party A and support party B openly, like we say in Nigeria, opendentially? Are we redefining democracy or party politics? What are the implications of this?
Let us properly situate and conceptualize the issues that Wike has been able to put to the fore of Nigerians this morning. As usual, I always have comic relief when I just see his interviews.
Very quickly, we don't have that much time, maybe in 1 minute.
When I just saw that, I knew this is a spoiler. And the earlier the PDP knows what it's doing, the earlier the PDP gets Wike out of the party, or they are going to face the consequences of not even coming close to democracy. Why is Wike not being punished? Why is Wike becoming a stumbling block to the progress of PDP? Let them take the bull by the horn. PDP should have the large heart. They have men of character and timber, men of quality and men of class within the political class of this country. Therefore, let them, pick up the gauntlet and sack this man. Remove him from the PDP.
Wike will argue with you, but that without him, maybe the PDP would not even exist today. That he's been the lifeline. He's been the lifeline of the PDP.
Okay, unfortunately, we have to leave the conversation there. Dr. Ibrahim Modibbo, political affairs analyst. Mr. Fabiyi, unfortunately, we have to leave it there. We wish your party the best, even though you don't have so much faith in your party. Oladimeji Fabiyi is the former director of PDP presidential campaign. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on Newsnight.